As Alan Wallengard finished his statement, I stood there, staring down at the floor. Damn it. Damn it all. This is just so. This is just so inconvenient, I shouted. Inconvenient. Inconvenient. Inconvenient, I yelled, gripping my fists as tight as I could, kicking into Mr. Wallendor's desk. As if I didn't have enough to deal with already. I had just taken over my father's business. I was starting to find ways around the heavy workload. I was making plans for my entry into the magical world. I figured I'd do things subtly, slowly, with finesse. Meet a few of the right people, make connections, business associates, contacts. Start pushing influence, gain leverage on the right people. I assumed that I would have to deal with the magical government, but that's when I thought the magical government was actually a government. But no, it turns out that the entire magical government is just one big chess game between light and dark, and they think everybody else just has to be their pawns. I shouted, starting to pace back and forth in the room, scratching my head furiously. And on top of all of that, it turns out there's a war going on, and anyone who isn't already associated with one of those groups has to either be able to sign up or possibly face some sort of cruel end. So now I have to stabilize an entire magical government. It's all so inconvenient. Suddenly, Alice started chuckling from the other side of the room. You know, most people might be worried right now, Reginald. I looked up at Alice angrily. Oh, don't get me started on you, Alice, I said. Remember, this is partially your family's fault. Because your old man went off and signed some stupid agreements with a bunch of uppity magic people that basically don't feel any different about things than the people I was already having problems dealing with before. Where it's all a game about how noble you are, how long you've been using magic, the purity of your blood. Utter nonsense. So now I have to add in making sure you don't get married off to some magical loser just to get protection from some big shiny organization. Damn it, it was all planned so well. Years worth of plans. I had it all set up, all the lines connected, everything set up so that I could achieve my end goals and make a successful name for myself in the world of magic. But no, it suddenly had to become complicated. It's all just so inconvenient. Alan Wallendor looked down at me with a stunned expression, his hands on his desk, sweating bullets. You can't be serious. Are you mad? Do you actually think you can stand against them? You? Are you joking? I looked over to him angrily. Don't get me started on you, old man. Giving up. Just like that. Accepting it because they say so. Because you're too frightened and too incapable to do anything about it. Sorry if this upsets you, but I have no intention of cowing down now. I was hoping that being friends with your family would be an asset, but it's turning out that it was just more inconvenience. I thought adding magic to my life would make things simpler, easier. That's supposed to be the purpose of magic, after all, make things better. But no. Now I simply have to deal with another endless swarm of hypocrites, sycophants, bloodline drunk fools thinking that nobility and status is something that you have to be born with. Inconvenient. Just look at this, I said, raising my hand and snapping one of my fingers. Suddenly, a flurry of red project boards appeared, floating around the room, all filled to the brim with plans, tactics, strategies, connecting lines and bubbles, an intricate maze of business and tactics. Strategies that would make anyone shudder at the sheer complexity. Look at them, old man. Do you see all these plans? I said, looking at Alan Wallengard. Thanks to the information you've given me, they're all useless, I said, waving my hand. And all the intricate designs and patterns, all the bubbles with strings attached, all the best laid plans vanished from the boards. I had a fully adapted strategy ready to take its course to ensure my success in the magical world. And now it's all useless. I have to throw it all out and start from scratch. War brings instability. Instability means that tactical plans that rely on subtlety, playing a slow game, are completely unstable in that type of environment. They can't hold. The only way that I can set an established plan and begin things, setting them in motion, is if I deal with this conflict. And not only do I have to deal with an entire magical war and find a way to bring an end to this, just so I can start introducing myself to the magical world, but I also have to magically find a way that I can bypass all of the silly nonsense restrictions that keep people from entering. It's just so inconvenient. It's maddening how inconvenient it is, I said, furiously scratching at my head, looking at the blank boards in front of me in fury. Why can't everything just be simple? I make a plan, I follow that plan, I reach success. But it seems that things are always complicated by the foolishness of others, and I'm the one left to deal with it. As I spoke, Alan Wallendor simply stared at me in amazement, dumbfounded at the entire concept, the idea. "You're serious?" he said, still glaring down at me in astonishment. "You actually think that you can resolve this? That you alone can handle the entire magical world? Simply make it work the way you want? Because you want to? It's insanity." I turned around, giving him a cross look. No, insanity is lying down and accepting defeat without ever trying to fight. What's the point in living your entire life by a set of rules and bounds that don't benefit you in the slightest? No, if the rules don't benefit you, then they're useless. Burn them and make new ones. Defeat is more than something that just happens to you. Victory is more than something that comes at the end of a game. Defeat happens when you refuse to put forward the effort, when you believe it's impossible. And victory? Victory only happens when you actually believe you can. It's impossible to claim victory if you're already certain you've lost. Now, I need to do away with that nonsense. This is a game, and I intend to win. By any cost, by any measure. Victory will be mine. Now, Alan Wallengard, as for your part of this, I'm going to need you to listen very closely and tell me absolutely everything that I need to know, I said, turning around and facing him with a serious expression. It doesn't matter the odds. There's absolutely no point in playing a game that you intend to lose.